It is a responsibility of both of you to always satisfy one another sexually. In today's video, we're going to look at world's most asked question: should someone have sex while they are fasting? What does the Bible say about sex and fasting? Is it wrong? Is it right? Let's go together in the video and we shall see more. Don't go away. Keep watching. So when we open the scriptures in the Bible, in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 from verse 2 to 5, they talk about a husband and wife, sex and sexual satisfaction, and also fasting. And it goes like this in verse 2: nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. And in verse 3 it says, let the husband render unto his wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto her husband. Now, in this chapter, God says it's a responsibility of a wife to give sexual satisfaction to her husband, and it is a responsibility of a husband to give sexual satisfaction to his wife. And when you continue reading in verse 4, it says, the wife has no power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise, the husband has not power over his own body, but the wife. And so God expects you, both of you, to satisfy one another sexually. So it is a responsibility of both of you to always satisfy one another sexually. And when you continue reading in verse 5, it talks about do not defraud. It says, defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come back together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. So when it comes to verse 5, he says, do not defraud. Do not stop your husband from having your body, and do not stop your wife from having your body. That's what it literally means. Unless you both have agreed for a specific period of time that you want to devote yourselves into prayer and fasting. So the only time that God permits us here not to have sex is if you have agreed with your partner. Now, think about people who go on a fasting for 40 days. Maybe your partner is not fasting. Do you know you're going to tempt him or her for 40 days? Because he says that agree that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. God knew how hard it is for a man or a wife to abstain from sex for a period of time, a long period of time. And so he says, come back together as soon as possible, so that you will not be tempted due to your inconsistency. So fasting, it is you can fast from sex because it's also a form of pressure, but you must agree with your partner that you're going to fast, that you're not going to touch it. But if there is no agreement between both of you, then God does not allow you to fast. You can fast on an individual basis, but you still have sex with your partner. But if you have agreed between you two of you that we are not going to have sex, maybe after we have fasted and devoted ourselves to prayer, then we come again together, there, it is also okay. Now, think about if you have an unbelieving husband or wife. Are they going to wait for you until you finish 40 days? You're going to have battles. And trust me, you will not have a good time with God if you have not agreed. So sex during fasting is permitted, and is also not permitted if you have agreed. The only time that God allows a couple to be without sex is when there is mutual agreement. There is agreement between you and your wife, agreement between you and your husband. So if you're fasting, maybe you're personally fasting, you don't want your partner to know, you can go ahead and still have sex as you fast. Or if you have agreed and both of you can manage, then it's okay, you can quit. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. I believe you have found something helpful. Kindly share it with your friends and God bless you.